Hello and welcome. My name is Christoph Pütz. I'm a senior IT manager with over 22 years of IT experience. I got into information technology by using Microsoft IT certifications. I worked in a call center for a shipping company. On the side, I studied and became Microsoft certified and then found my first job in a help desk position for a software company. From there, I worked my way up through systems administration, systems engineering, did networking, storage, and information security as well. Then I moved into IT management over the years, and that's where I'm working today. When I got into IT, I did not really have a strategy. This was really something where I operated on gut feelings and ideas that I had, but not really having a strategy. And over the years, I really have to say, once I started implementing a career strategy, everything changed for me. The positions that I worked at got better. The money that I made was more than before. And then also the way how I was able to grow in my career, it was significantly different and faster compared to before. So having an IT career strategy is so important in my opinion. And that's one of the biggest mistakes I made early on by just being blinded by the money, just working towards that very first step of getting into information technology and not really thinking mid-term. I don't want to even say long-term, but having an idea, okay, where do I go after I get into information technology? So once I got into information technology, I worked for a software company providing help desk support via phone. And I had to realize working on the phone is quite stressful, and it wasn't just really what I enjoyed doing. I enjoyed working in IT, but I was not really enjoying the work being on the phone all day, sometimes having phone calls of an hour or 2 hours before a problem was resolved. So I had to reassess what I was doing and identify, okay, where do I go next? And there wasn't much information available back then, and I was drifting a little bit and just like, okay, next step, without really thinking, okay, once I reach that step, what am I going to do after that? So it wasn't really a planned career from that perspective. Yes, it was planned that I got into information technology. Yes, it was planned that I was making more money. Yes, I was planning to have work that I really enjoy. But I didn't really have that clarity that I needed to move forward and really check off the boxes as I went. I knew that I was heading in the right direction. You could look at it from like, if you don't know where you're going, how do you know when you get there? And that was really my situation. A few years later, I finally was more mature from that perspective. I had more experience and I really understood, okay, if I do and execute certain steps and do certain things, it will shift my career forward. That's when I started specialization in virtualization, became really a subject matter expert in this field. And I had companies like VMware, Microsoft and others call me and inquire if I would be interested to work for them. So it was a really interesting time and I realized I have something good going here. I was a hot commodity in the employment market, so to speak. And once I had this plan, it was easy for me to adjust when the world around me changed. And that's one of those things really in information technology. Things are always changing and you have to be able to adjust to that change and shift direction when it happens. So for me, the work environment changed and I no longer really enjoyed working there. A lot of the good people had left and whatever was still going on, it wasn't just really what I was looking for. So as mentioned before, I was a hot commodity in the employment market and it took me like 2 or 3 weeks and I had a new job lined up that looked very promising. I got into this new job and it turned out to be not really the environment that I had expected. I was hired to do a certain job, but then inside the company there was so much political dragging and pulling into different directions that I wasn't really enabled to do the work that I was hired for. And that really made me think, okay, I need to change directions again, and I adjusted. And then I found a new position that opened up the door to what I was thinking about earlier. So I had developed a strategy plan where I wanted to work my way up into a subject matter expertise, become a senior level subject matter expert, and then potentially move my way into information technology management. So there was a position opening up. It was a lead position. I would be managing a very small team, but I would still be hands-on. So I would have the best of both worlds, so to speak. And then I stayed at that company about 4 years before moving on into IT middle management. So that career strategy plan worked very well. I was able to adjust to the shifting changes in the work environments where I was, and then always move up to make more money, take on more responsibility, and slowly move into that track that I wanted to be at, the IT management track. That's really where I have to say to myself, this plan was well executed. But if I look at my career, the first 7 or 8 years, well, I did not really have this. And it set me back from a financial perspective, that I wasn't making as much money as possible. I wasn't necessarily working or doing the work that was really providing the value that I enjoyed most. So it was a time really where I want to say, okay, I learned something along the way and I had to become mature and get that expertise in a certain way. But realizing if I would have had a clearer understanding of where do I want to go and take my career, I would be moving much, much faster and probably would have a more satisfying career in a certain way. Don't get me wrong, there are no regrets. I learned from that and then I changed it in the second half of my career. And that's really where I can say, no, this is working great, because with that strategy in mind, it's so easy to adjust when the environment changes around you. If you don't know this, then change can be scary and it's just like, oh, there are layoffs. Oh, the technology changes. I have to learn something new, but I don't know what. So those are situations that you really avoid when you understand the value of a career strategy. So if I look at my career, there are pretty much like 3 chapters. The first one is getting into information technology and really having the first step done, getting my feet wet and be inside the industry. The second phase, or the second step of my career, was really slowly working my way towards something where I wasn't sure what it is, where I did not necessarily have the direction. Yes, I was making more money. It was matching up with what you're reading in the news or what you're hearing from other people, but it wasn't really moving at a pace or with the progress that you would expect. And then the third step, when it made click, and I was able then to implement a strategy, knew where I was going, able to make changes to the strategy as the world around me changed, and then still execute that plan and still get me to where I am today. So that's one thing I really want to point out. If you do not have an IT career strategy, please take some time to really just very high level map out where do you want to be. Where do you want to be in 2 or 3 years? Where do you want to be in 5 years? Forget about 10 years. Whoever asked you those questions, where do you see yourself in 5 to 10 years? It's just like, no. You're working in information technology. Technology is changing so quickly. Just look where we are with the cloud. Just look where we are with suddenly working from remote in so many cases. The world has changed dramatically and you need to be able to adjust. So that's really where you want to look at. Very short term, then midterm, and the midterm here really is 2 or 3 years, and the long term that you want to look out at is roughly 5 years. Of course, there is some variation in there, but I think if you develop that high-level plan, it will make it so much easier for you to move through your career and then really see the steps becoming reality, and then enjoying and looking back and say, wow, this was a great ride. Just in case you're interested, I do offer IT career coaching where I sit down with you and we work together on your existing career, on your existing journey. We'll take inventory, I'll take a look at your resume, and then together we work on an IT career strategy that potentially can catapult you into the direction where you want to be, and you know which points along the way to keep an eye on, and in the end really have an enjoyable career, make good money, and just be happy, because that's an important portion of really going to work. If you're not happy when you go to work, you're in the wrong area, in the wrong company, or in the wrong field. And this will help you to determine, yes, I am in the right area, I am in the right industry, and I know where I'm going. So let me help you with that. Please check out my website. I put the link into the description below, and then I'm looking forward to work with you and helping you to put your career on a solid foundation and driving it into the right direction. So I hope you liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please do so as well. And then I hope to see you in my next video. Thank you for watching and have a great day. Bye-bye.